I feel like we've watched you grow up in public. So first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bobby Pai. It's a pleasure to be back, and I feel so, like you just said, I feel so nostalgic being here. Just taking me back to what I think like 2014, the first time I like entered these studios, and now we're here 9 years after that.
Yeah, and you know, as I said, growing up in public, you were a mere whippersnapper, a boy. A munda. I mean, maybe a bit older than that. And now you're sitting in front of me as a married man.
Yes, almost married. Engaged.
Well, believe me, that's it. She's won. You've lost.
Yes.
The future, your destiny's now been written.
Alhamdulillah.
So look, before we talk about the music, tell me about that journey, because you obviously see your life as your entire life, but in terms of growing up in the public eye, we really have seen you looking fresh-faced, very, very innocent, possibly even naive. And now, you know, you are at the pinnacle, I'd say, of your career. You know, you're known throughout Pakistan, throughout South Asia. How's that journey been on you personally? Not musically, just personally.
Personally, wow, that's one of the reasons why I enjoy talking to you, you know, because personally it's been so different than professionally, right? And I've had, so every couple of years or every other year, I recently, since the recent past years, I've been going through transitions. And I think there did come a time in the middle where I kind of started losing it, and I was like, you know, it's very difficult, and obviously you have to be very, very strong mentally just to be in this business, let alone growing up in front of everyone, right? So yeah, there were times when there's still times when it gets to me, but I think I really you know, there's this thing, even this famous book, which I don't exactly remember the name, but it says something like along these lines, where it says, "Okay, when you can't figure something out, just give in." Right? Like just
give in, as in forget it, or give in to it, as in the way.
Yes, give in to whatever you're trying to learn. And for me, at that point, it was everything. Nothing was making sense, so I just dropped everything, not as an artist, but just as a human. And I was just like, to nature, I was like, yo, I wanna learn everything again. And I think that like that whole spiritual transition really helped me and helps me every now and then when I feel under pressure. That's what I feel a lot, actually. Pressure, right? It's all about that, expectations and everything. But yeah, recently I've enjoyed this journey quite a lot more, because I feel like I like to think that way, that I'm trying to figure it out and I'm enjoying it. There was a time when I stopped enjoying making music, and that was the most difficult time, because
that's usually deadly for most musicians.
Yes.
It usually ends their careers.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it was awful, right? Because I came to a conclusion, okay, I am a better human when I'm creating art that I like. And I wasn't, and that was affecting me personally so much. And then it took me time. It took me a few years, actually, to figure out why am I not enjoying making music again. And it was just because I was taking a lot of pressure. I was just letting everything get to me. But you know, as simple as it sounds right now to say, it's not, right. It could be very complicated. But you know, I did what I did, went through what I did, and then I just told myself, obviously had to get that strength to tell myself that yo, even for like the next year, if you go to the studio and you don't make a hit, it's fine. Just do what you always wanted to do, and that was find that moment where you get butterflies in your stomach. When you're creating something, it's just that one moment. And that's what I came to the conclusion of, that it's that moment what we work for. That little feeling, right? And I was like, I've stopped getting that. I was like, why have I stopped getting that? Because I was just not having fun in the studio.
Okay, so look, I want to drill down into this before we move on. It's very interesting because inspiration, when it comes to artists, singers, painters, film directors, they always talk about, some say it's the butterflies, some say I was doing it without thinking and I was in the zone. Either way, everyone talks about being in a lug, a different jagga, a different place when this happens. So just tell me, when you didn't know who you were, when you weren't enjoying making music, how does that manifest? Like, for people who don't know, what is it? Are you just depressed? Are you shouting at everyone around you? Is it just you're fine, but inside you keep going, who are you? I just want to know how that manifests.
So I think it could be different for everybody, right? But I can tell you, what I went through, and I think the kind of person I am, I shell very nicely. I might not have what's going on, and I think that's another thing that usually artists do and have. But it was just that because I've been performing throughout, right? There's been no break. We've been performing since I'd say the past 5-6 years. Have been really, really at it, right? And you wouldn't even realize it until you would be back at your hotel at 2 a.m, just missing home and just missing yourself and just trying to figure out. At that point, I didn't even know what was wrong. I didn't even know why. I just didn't feel happy. I just performed for 5,000 people, and now I'm in my bed, and it was just, and that took me a couple of years to figure out, what is it? And I think that's the most important journey. I think that's the most important part, because I think once you figure it out, what it is, I think it's a bit easier to go towards it, to work towards it. But just to be in that state where you're just like why? Kya ho raha hai? Right? And those, and you're the loneliest after a big show, and then the next day you go through the same routine again and again and again.
What do they call it? A merry-go-round. It starts again every day.
It starts every day, and then you start feeling better as the day starts, because then you're going to perform, and then you're going to be on stage, and it's something that kind of really you enjoy. But then in the longer run, in the bigger picture, right, you come back to your hotel and you're just it's there again. You could play, you could have so many things. I travel with the PlayStation, a lot of distractions and stuff. But I'm just glad that I'm not even saying that the conclusion that I reached must be right. I'm just glad I went towards it. I went towards finding a conclusion, no matter if it's right or wrong. Because just being in that state of not knowing as an artist I think is the worst. And any artists or any form of humans that are listening, I think the most important part, and probably the most difficult part, is to just go towards figuring it out, right? And so you would not see me kind of letting it out on people. But there are some moments when you do find yourself vulnerable, snappy, and then. But I've been trying to be honest as well about it.
Yeah, no, I can't imagine you because even people who aren't nice to other people, it's not because they're nasty, it's because something's happening and they don't know how to process it. I can't imagine you ever being nasty to anyone. I can imagine you being snappy, and I think snappy's fine for anyone when the pressure gets too
And you know
much.
what, that's helped me kind of give other humans the benefit of the doubt as well. And I think it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Now when someone's some way with me, I try at least to just tell myself, okay, I don't know what's going on in their life, don't know why but just give them the benefit of the doubt, just like you probably wanted it for yourself.
Okay, now one last thing around this.
Yeah.
Okay, so you mentioned the amount of pressure you felt.
Yeah.
And what I'm interested in is because I can already see one pressure ultimately coming your way, and that's just because of timing. You appeared at a time when Pakistan was looking for the next thing musically and entertainment-wise. Pakistan was going through a change as a country, and you appeared. And, you know, for a lot of Pakistanis, you were the perfect artist. You were new, you were fresh, but you were still, like, not so radical that you were scaring everybody, okay?
Yes.
So was the pressure literally, I'm now not Asim me anymore, I am Asim Azhar, or was there something else here? Because I know a lot of my pressure in the early part of my career came from a very demanding father who really wanted me to do well, and a mother who always reacted to me doing well and me seeing her happy. So was it Pakistan, or was it closer to home, or was it even you? What was this pressure? Let's psychologically do this,
for
man.
Sure. Like I said, it's been a while. I haven't done an interview, and have a lot to say. But I'm so glad that you asked. I think anything but home. I just want to take this moment to just put it on record that I've been so lucky and blessed to have the most awesome people around me, from family to friends and to my home. I have a small circle and I love it. So anything but that. So yes, definitely, whether you said Pakistan, home, or myself, definitely Pakistan and myself. It was not just the Awam, it was also me. That's the personality that I have. I know my potential, and sometimes I used to get unfair with myself, while forgetting that I was just 16, 17, 18, even just 19, and then of course the Awam ka pressure comes with it, right? But it's not a bad thing. It's a good place to be in, right? I think it's just that my own pressure kind of like elevated that a bit higher.
I suppose they kind of became entwined with each other.
Yep. कि अच्छा करना है, अच्छा गाना बनाना है, अच्छा दिखना है. So beach mein I kind of got lost into that, I think, but I feel like that was so important, boy bhai, for me to get lost. I think if I did not lose myself and did not try to find myself again, maybe I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. I think everything's just everything's aligned with each other. The stars are aligned. So I'm actually happy that I went through it, because varna I would have been stuck in that cycle. Yeah. That's what I believe.
Yeah,
I would have been stuck in that cycle, and it's a beautiful feeling to. Even now, I have this consciousness telling me that you'll never know if you're on the right path or the wrong path until you know.
Yeah.
Right? It's just Urdu mein, we say niyat. It's just the intention that counts. So my life's revolving around the intention.
So Asim, let's talk about music now, because you occupy a unique space, I think, in the onward march of Pakistani music. You appeared in the, early teenies, I don't know what they're called, after the noughties, and Pakistani music, I think, really wanted something new. And what you've managed to do from the get-go, and even now, is you've managed to juggle being massively mainstream and doing what most people want. I'll even use the word commercial, but then you've also done enough really cool stuff to keep all the heads, all the left field heads, really happy. And for example, just doing the Ed Sheeran cover was genius. And one of my favorite tracks of the last 10 years is Yard, that you did with the Young Stunners. Wow. You've got those on one end, you've got all the other tracks on the other end.
Yeah.
So was that by design, or is that just you? And where's this all going now? Because Pakistan has changed radically, even in the last 2 years.
I know. So if you'd asked me this, I'd say 4 years before, I'd say it's all designed. But now I've realized that that's me. I think anybody that knows me personally, if you give them this perspective of the way I've done my music, I think they'd be like, because I love sitting at like, let's say, the most popping place with my friends in the city, but then you'll also find me at like a chai ka hotel, and that's just me. I would still love going somewhere if I had to on a rickshaw.
You can't do that, right? Are you so famous now that you have to plan ahead, so you don't just end up on the street surrounded by fans?
Yes, but I love it. Right? And there are moods where sometimes you feel like interacting with people. You feel like, okay, yeah, I'll just go some. But I think, the masks that we all got because of the whole COVID thing, now that the mask thing really helps now. But fans are amazing. They see right through you, even in like your shades and like your mask. But I think back to what the question was. At this point in my life, I think it's just me. And it's beautiful because it could have gone either way. I was thinking that it's a design because that's what I wanted to achieve. I wanted, and I still want to be heard in every household. Whether I think that's what music does, right? That's the bigger target for art, to just make everyone come together, no matter where they come from, no matter what class they're from. I don't believe in classes, and I think that's why I want to be heard in like the most elitists of places, and also at the most awami jagah in town. So I started designing it that way, but now I feel like I did that because that is me.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad I did that.
Often we think we're in charge, but actually our true selves steering it behind the scenes anyway.
Yep. Could have gone either way. I could have gone for something very, I'd say, indie or hip or urban, something like 100% urban. I could have gone 100% urban. I could have gotten influenced by other people. I like what they're doing. It's working. I'll do that. But I'm so glad I stuck to what I did. And now when I see, people like you kind of studying it and seeing the effort that I put behind it, and now that I feel like it's showing a bit, it's really nice. It's really nice. And I plan to keep it that way. Like if someone asks me, what's your sound? I don't think I have a sound. I think my personality is my sound, and my personality is that. Like I wear sneakers under shalwar kameez. So that's my music.
That's it, man. There you go. If anyone needs to know about Asim Azhar's music, it's shalwar kameez, sneakers.
100%. Aisa hi hai.
All right. So then how do you feel? And I once again, remember, like, this isn't just a light question, it's a deep question.
Yeah.
So we know what's happening at the moment, and that is Pakistan is advancing at hyperspeed in terms of genres, artists. 10 years ago, there were people like you had Talal Qureshi noodling around in the background, and now, even Coke Studio has some of the most upfront musicians. Yes. I'm playing rappers from Karachi, from Lahore, from Peshawar. There's so many things happening. Number one, how does that make you feel about music? And number two, are you not worried that you've got a lot more competition now, even if you like them?
So for the longest time, I would say this, and not in an arrogant way, but I would always say this. Like when I was young, if I did interviews and stuff, and someone would ask me, "So, who do you think is your competition?" I would say no one.
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a no one thing where I'm like, "Oh, I'm the best." It was literally no one. I was doing what I was doing all by myself. right? What I was trying to do. There must be other artists as well, but what I was trying to do to the whole pop culture thing, because Pakistan was still transitioning. A lot of people didn't even know what pop culture exactly is, and now I feel so excited. I'd lie if I say, okay, oh, I don't think about it. What competitions do I have? Of course, there's competition, and to be honest, it was getting boring at some point, and I can't really even. I could never do it. This what's happening right now with the Pakistani music scene. I could never do that single-handedly. Obviously I had my push, right? I did what I had to do. I played my part, and that's why it's a very empowering feeling, because deep down I know the impact that I've had. A lot of people have had impacts, right? But deep down I know the impact that I've had to see where the Pakistani music scene is growing to, right? And I feel like it's just the more competition that we have, we're going to be on our toes, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's going to be on our toes. And what's that going to do? It's going to create better art for Pakistan and for South Asia. And I think it's a win-win for everybody.
Now, you just mentioned South Asia, okay? I often talk about, because of my job, because I love the music, I don't see borders, all right?
Yeah.
I have, I'm very close to the Pakistani music scene, the Indian music scene, Bangladesh, all that stuff.
Yeah.
And there's been collaborations over the years. I remember thinking there'd never be a hip-hop collaboration, and now Krishna's, done stuff out in Pakistan. What happened with you? And I think was it Universal India or a record label in India? You possibly had a track ready for Bollywood. You were doing stuff with them, and then we all know, away from musicians, tensions, politicians. So just tell us what happened there. Was it just the politicians and the tensions?
Yeah. It was honestly just that, and as sad as that is just not in our hands. And millions of people like us, millions of people who love art, who don't see borders and who only see art, and we suffer, right? And it was a similar case. There's this movie called Malang, and we had I prepared a song a year before the release, as music gets ready for films. And it was an amazing experience, to be very honest. Mohit Suri, the director of the film, he's had amazing history with music in his films, right? All his films are known to have like legendary music from Ashki 2 and all that, right? So I was really excited, and honestly, everybody around it that we were working with remotely from Pakistan to India, it was an amazing experience. And it's just like the timing was so bad, and towards the end, I'm just glad that we reached a conclusion where they did not have to. So the question came down to me if I want to remove the song.
Wow, I didn't know that. So it was not at the end a label head. It was you.
Yeah.
So that's once again the pressure.
Yeah. And my mother's always taught me this thing where she says, whenever you're in position of power, whenever you have the power of a decision that would affect lives, always go for the path that makes it better for everybody.
Yeah.
No matter how much the hardship is, no matter how. And to be fair, it came down to a point where it was a mere question of whether removing the whole song, and obviously everything that goes with the song, the shoot costs millions of dollars. Just one song costs about millions of dollars, right? And I was, I didn't want to mess up their release, mess up their movie.
Yeah.
They're really nice people. I had a very, very good experience. And yeah, I was like, yo, you guys, and then we had demos for it from quite a few singers, and it was nice because I got to decide who should sing the film version.
Wow. See, that's true friendship and artistry.
Yeah,
for
there you
them
go.
to
Yeah.
just, instead of just going, okay, Khudafis, bye-bye, they still wanted you involved.
Yes, I think I think it was from both ways, and also I got to release my own version of it as well on my channel, which is quite unusual for an artist to release a Bollywood song without getting it copyrighted or striked, right? So yeah, it was a very it was I had mixed feelings because it was supposed to be my my Bollywood debut and stuff.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fish there, but it was. But you know what? Whenever I sing that song at a concert, everybody's singing back.
Yeah.
So that's what matters, right?
Yeah. I'm just kind of cracking at the moment under the pressure of thinking of you being under the pressure and all this multi-million pound industry, politics, 2 countries, thousands of years of history, and then suddenly they go, you decide. That's ridiculous.
I know, and I just banked on the fact that whenever, inshallah ta'ala, when everything is well, and whenever that region stops suffering because of these, political reasons, I was like, of course we're gonna come across of each other, and there's so much to work for. There's going to be, inshallah, there's going to be so many opportunities, and to the people, especially to the people that have been so accommodating and nice to me, and at some point they're also helpless. I don't want to mess them over.
Yeah.
And the next time everything's okay, probably a new movie, a new song.
Look, we'll see what the future brings.
Yeah.
All I'll say is so much has happened between the 2 countries.
Yeah.
Get on your social media. You will see stuff that makes you feel sick. You can fall down a dark hole because there are dark things happening. But then you just think, look at the influence of Nusrat, Atif Aslam, all of these artists in India.
Yeah.
Look at the influence of Bollywood's history in Pakistan. Look at what Basuri did.
Yeah.
Becoming the most streamed song in India, the most Pakistani song I've ever heard in my life. So it just says to me that politics aside, Aam Admi, the normal brother or sister on the street, is waiting for those
don't
better
care.
days.
Yeah. And it's nice to see that it's proved now that nobody cares where the art's coming from.
Yeah.
They just want the art.
Yeah.
As long as it's nice. As
Yeah.
long as they connect to it.
All right, so look, we need to pick up on this just because there's been so much in the media about this, and I know you've kind of put everything to rights, but let's just get the official version, okay? You're engaged.
Yes.
You're getting married.
Inshallah.
So inshallah, and God willing, and also
Are you about to ask me when?
No. I'm more likely to ask you if you'll get married to me, but I'm not even doing that. I just wanted to just find out how stressful it is, because you've got your life.
Yes.
And your life in the public eye.
Yes.
Now you're getting married,
Yeah.
and what happens the moment this starts leaking out? There's accusations, she's your sister, ridiculous things happening where you have to come on and go, I'm not marrying my own sister. So how's that making you feel? And how, if you don't mind me asking, you don't have to answer this, is she going to be all right with all this attention? Because there are millions of people who will say anything on social media for clout.
I think she's done exceptionally well. This whole time has been crazy. Could have been a lot crazier, but I think she's handled it very well, and that's also one of the reasons why I really admire her. And in fact, she keeps me. She helps me to stay on ground and not lose my mind whenever stuff like this happens. And see, boy bhai, it's so easy nowadays to create a chat or to create screenshots or anything, just fabricate it. And this sadly also, we were speaking about amazing things from the region where we come from, but sadly, where we come from, it's a very opinion driven awam, right? They will form their opinion according to the top comment. That's what it is, right? We're living in the digital age, and that's what happens,
The truth has no meaning anymore.
No meaning at all. So, and that is one of the biggest reasons why I've just stopped doing press. And because, you know what, at the end of the day, what matters is what I do and what I create. And as long as that's relevant, I don't have to worry about anything, right? I would, I think that it's come with age as well. I was the kind of person that would go out and give clarifications and release a statement or anything. But I think over the time, I think you cannot change the perception, right? So what I've started to do is just to trust the humanity that I have in myself and just trust nature, trust God. Just trust higher power that I will be sorted. I don't have to go out to clarify whether who am I marrying, who she is, what do I do, or whatever. Even accept all this. I've just started banking on the nature. And just believing that, just make good songs, be a good human, everything will be okay.
So I'm going to ask you this only because nothing in my life would ever get me ready for the following situation. And I think it's a really good insight for people out there to know what happens when they're clicking on something that's not real. All right. So the rumor goes out, she's your sister. All right. Ridiculous.
Yeah.
Then people who you would think are smart are clicking share and clicking or just commenting Fazul Galna just for the sake of it, because that's what people do when they're struggling on their phone. So what actually happens at the other end? You're sitting in your house, maybe someone turns around to you, passes a phone and goes, look at this. This is what they're saying. Just talk me through it. What happens? And then as more tweets happen, as more Fazul Galla happen, I just want to know the real life effects on a real man.
Yaar, I would say for someone like me, right, I avoid it as much as I can. I don't
even looking.
I don't look at my phone. I don't, and I've been it for so long now. 2013, right? It's been 10 years since I've been online in the public eye, and it has never been easy for me, right? I've always been a very easy target. So all this time has really, really kind of made me protect myself. And one of the traits that I've developed is to just 100% ignore it. Just 100% ignore it, right? But even then, if it has become a national interest, if it's become a national topic, of course it's going to come around, right? And that's when the human side kicks in. There are times when you want to just say something or do something.
Swear at people.
Yeah.
Literally act like King Kong.
Well, not publicly, but I do it.
Wow.
Just like this psychological thing. I can't believe I'm confessing to it, but
screaming at the top of your lungs.
There are moments when I just look at a tweet or a comment and I just say something that I would usually say, and that makes me feel better. And then I put the phone away.
Yeah.
I don't know if people who listen to this, how crazy that would sound to them, but of course the business that we're in is crazy. But with that being said, again, my fiancé, she has a huge impact on these things. I'm so glad she is on the same page as me when it comes to these things. And we just keep telling each other to like, just let's like, we just try to like surround ourselves with positivity. You know, I do it for her.
And why shouldn't you? What a great fix.
I do it for her. She does it for me. We go out for ice cream. Fixes everything. Fixes our mood. Go out for a drive, listen to good music, watch a good movie, spend time with family. And same goes with my family, with my mom and her family and my family. And like I said in the beginning, my friends, everything around it, I think they've all understood it, right? I think if I had the power, if in the early days I would have like kind of gotten them used to of sitting down and like seeing me stressed out and having like this meeting where I was like, yo, Asim's stressed and like, you know, this is bothering him. And now they're also used to it.
Yeah.
It's like, if he doesn't care, and that's what I wanted to kind of, you know, have, like, that's how I wanted things around me.
Yeah.
And at 26, I think I enjoy it because now everybody's like, yeah, matlab, if he's not worried about what they're saying about him on the internet, then that's what should matter, right?
Bro, you're blessed. At 26, I was an absolute mess. Whereas you got into the public eye very early on.
Yeah.
And it seems to me you've taken, when you've come to many forks, you've taken the right road and the right path. So that's really nice to know.
Because there have been instances where I have like lashed out. I remember the first time I did the PSL, Pakistan Super League, right?
Yeah.
It's the biggest event in Pakistan, cricket, how big it is. So the song for PSL is supposed to be like a very, very, very huge deal.
Is this the one with Fali Shafi?
No, this is the first one that I did.
Okay, yeah.
So the first one that I did. So the next one that I did recently with Faris, Shay and Abdullah Siddiqui, who produced it, I was so prepared and it was like a breeze. So but the first one, right, I was still learning, right? And everything happened and it was like a whole national interest that, we like this song, we don't like the song. And yeah, a couple of days later, I like issued this tweet and like, but like I said, I'm so glad I did, so I'm here.
Yeah.
Right? And now I'm just like...
You're just chilling, bro.
Yeah, I'm just chilling, bro. I'm just gonna do me. You know, we just performed at like Ali Pali, did a sold out show, going to the US, have so many more,
it's
so
great.
Many more music
the
coming.
British tour just looked amazing.
Yeah.
Your fans here absolutely love you. You know?
And you know, this is also what I've learned. There's so much positivity to be thankful for. There's so much to be like enjoying, right? I've had the best time this week in London. I've met my friends, my family. So the last thing I should care about is what a random person that maybe doesn't like me or whatever, right? Or has no constructive feedback or a valuable feedback for me has to say about me.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's a thing like I can't believe I've made it to this feeling.
That, you know, to me, conversely, that shows to me your comments, I can't believe I've made it here, actually reflects truly just how difficult it must have been earlier on. Because when one gets out of a situation that's that stressful, even if we don't know it, one feels elated afterwards. So I think it's very reflective. If you're feeling this good now, it must have been pretty bad then. Anyway, last question, Asim, and it's just a simple one, and that is, what's the plan for you know, where do you see yourself in a perfect world 10 years from now? Do you see yourself still performing, or maybe the grand old man of Pakistani pop music where you're kind of coming out once every 3 years and doing a couple of gigs? Or do you see yourself in a frenzy playing in India? I'm just really interested what the plan is.
So I would love to always be a representative of where I come from, of Pakistan, of South Asia, whether it's performing worldwide, and even if like down the line 10 years, if let's say I'm not like a performer anymore and I'm producing, but that's still giving me the opportunity to represent my culture, I'd be the happiest man. But in a perfect world, Alhamdulillah, at this moment where I am, this is exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
And if this could continue, I'd be the happiest man. And there have been times where I have felt like, okay, Asim, great run. This was it. And even then I felt like very relieved and thankful and grateful. And trust me, like that feeling just makes everything so much easier. Like the moment you asked me about my next year, the first thing that popped in my mind, I was like, yo, if I would be doing this again in 10 years, I'd be really happy.
I'll see you in 10 years, bro.
Inshallah.
Thank you, man. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you so much, man. This was nice. This was a pleasure.